It's Beer O'Clock on Real Craft Beer. Today I've got something quite special to show you guys. I've never had a Whitbread beer. Would have loved to have tried one. I used to or even recently Googled what they were all about. They now own Costa Coffee. They now own Premier Inns. They shut their brewery. They moved out of the beer industry. Probably back in the 1990s, maybe a tad earlier than that, to concentrate on hotels and coffee. And to celebrate their 275th anniversary, there you go, they've brought out a beer that's been brewed at Black Sheep Brewery, and it's a limited edition coffee flavoured stout at 5.7% ABV. So let's look at the beer. It comes in a nice bag. Let's have a look. So we have a 500ml bottle. I'm quite excited by this, to be honest. Let's get it out into a glass and see what we get. Black bottle cap, by the way. Nice bit of smoke on the bottle opening. Beer in the glass then. Quite a nice glug on the pour. The glug, that noise, indicates that it's got quite a good, it will have a well-rounded mouthfeel. Nice levels of carbonation rolling up the side of the glass. It's a 1 to 2 finger tan coloured head. It's a jet black beer in the glass. Let's get the aroma. What do you expect? It's full of coffee. Of course, it's that link with Costa Coffee. They would have, it was the best thing to do, was to produce a stout, a coffee stout. But it smells fantastic. The coffee beans are so prominent. It's such a big part of this aroma of the beer. Mocha like espresso coffee beans in the beer. Caramel, roasted malts. Smells good. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Stone the Crows. Stone the Crows is a really good beer. A really drinkable beer. A really drinkable stout. But on the back end, there still is that element of maybe some lactose. It's kind of creamy on the back end, and it just gives it a good mouthfeel on the back end, but it also makes it quite refreshing to begin with. You have a big kind of swig of the beer like I did. Good levels of carbonation, chocolate, coffee, caramel coming from the roasted malt, and then of course coffee flavours coming from the coffee beans added to the beer. It's also quite vinous on the back end. There's a little bit of plum, fig and prune. It's a good beer. It's a really good beer. It's a Stone the Crows beer. It's the type of stout that I would like to session. It's not so thick and bold and fat that you would just want to have one pint of it. You could, if you wanted to, of course, just enjoy the one bottle like I'm doing today. But I could see myself kind of settling down on this beer. Do you know when you go into some pubs, and especially the kind of the generic pubs, the chain pubs, and you see the selection and you go, I'm not really fussed on that. I'll have a half, I'll try that. Let me try that. And then you get to the stouts, you get to this stout, and you drink the stout and you think, right, okay, that's good, that's tidy. I'm gonna session this. And it's been brewed strong enough to enjoy on its own with a good mouthfeel, but it's also been brewed well enough to session. You could really tuck into this beer and enjoy a few pints of it. As you rock the beer back and forth, you get good levels of carbonation chasing that head of the glass. Look at that. That also indicates a nice body to the beer, a good rounded mouthfeel, nice lacing on the glass. I think they put a lot of thought and a lot of effort into this beer. I would like to see Whitbread, especially with the craft beer boom now going on around the world. I would like to see Whitbread bring out a range of beers, and I've been thinking about this before the review. What do I say in this beer review about Whitbread? Because I don't know too much about the company. But it's a bit like what Molson Coors did with Worthington's White Shield. This is the road I would like them to go down. I'd like to see Whitbread invest in, I don't know, like a £1 million, £2 million micro-sized brewery and just produce really good quality small batch beers. I think that would be the road they should take. Of course, as I mentioned, let's have another sip of beer while I remember. Worthington's, that's what I'm talking about. Worthington's brought out White Shield and Red Shield, and although it wasn't really a success, yes, you still see the beer in supermarkets, it wasn't a raging success because Worthington, it's such a close name, that's why I'm getting mixed up. Worthington's are still around, they're still producing beers, the cream flow. Whitbread, on the other hand, I think they can make a bigger success of it because of their history and because of the fact that they pulled away from beer such a long time ago. You have the younger generation coming through, like myself, wondering, eating a meal in our local Barry Premier Inn's restaurant there, where you get some pretty tidy food for pretty cheap, sitting there with my wife wondering why Whitbread pulled out of brewing beer altogether. And I think they would do well to come back and produce really good beer and sell it on the kind of the nostalgia, the history of the beer. But I really do think if they were to come back, they would have to produce beers as good as this. Really good quality stouts, porters, IPAs, just go all out. Absolutely all out. That would be my kind of suggestion to Whitbread. Let's rate this beer. So this was brewed at Black Sheep Brewery, as I mentioned, 5.7% ABV, a coffee flavoured beer, 500ml bottle to celebrate 275 years of Whitbread. They were also kind enough to send me some shampoo, coffee shampoo, and a coffee Yankee candle. So it's that kind of coffee themed Costa Coffee kind of thing going on. Let's rate it. I like that stout to give it a roaring Stone the Crows 9 out of 10. It's a 9 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box, subscribe to our daily beer reviews, give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom! And cheers.